Well, the fascinating thing is that advances in technology, especially in communications technology, changed culture tremendously. So if we look back to the past, it's easier sometimes to see this in retrospect. So, for example, when writing was invented, that changed culture incredibly. When we shifted from having to just process things orally to having the technology to write things down. Then we come across things like the printing press, around the time of Gutenberg in the Middle Ages, medieval period, of going suddenly we've now got movable type, we can print, we can reproduce things, and of course one result of that was the distribution of the Bible with Gutenberg's Bible. Then we have things like the telegraph. The telegraph was one of the most significant human inventions, actually, because when the telegraph was invented in the early 1800s, suddenly now information could travel at the speed of light, not merely at the speed of a man running or horse or ship or train. And whenever you see a new communication technology, culture changes. Now, we are living through a period where we have this incredible new communication technology. We have the internet. Now, we've had that for some years, but relatively short amount of time, humanly speaking, and we're still figuring it out, not least as things like the smartphone have brought the internet into our pockets. Artificial intelligence is changing things yet again. And so we're living in a time, once again, communication is changing. And that brings with it opportunities and it brings with it challenges. And I think the question now is, how is the church going to respond? And historically, I find it interesting, when we look back historically, the church has actually done relatively well when we've embraced new technologies. We were, one of the first to use the printing press, the way Christians have used radio and television and other technologies. Right now, I think we're still figuring out how we're supposed to be using this new digital environment we find ourselves in. It brings challenges, it brings opportunities, and we need to avoid two equal but opposite mistakes. One mistake is to stick our heads in the sand and walk away and sort of become Luddite. The other is to uncritically embrace everything. Because I think right now there are lots of voices in the secular world raising really good questions about what being wired to the internet 24/7 is doing to us. As Christians, we would do well to insert ourselves into that conversation and not leave it to our secular friends to figure out how do we use the best of digital technology while also preserving what it means to be human.